Konnichiwa collectors, this is Chris of FlyingAceCMX. Our goal here at FlyingAceCMX is to find and review merchandise from throughout the geekdom, whether it's from comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, or anything else within the multiverse, to find out whether or not it's worthy of adorning your shelves. As I record this video, it is now May the 4th, 2017, meaning it's Star Wars Day. And what better day is there than today to actually unbox and review Star Wars merchandise? And this is something I've actually had stowed away for a while. I haven't even unboxed it yet, but now's as good a time as any, don't you think? So I give to you the Star Wars The Force Awakens 12-inch Finn figure, the Jakku version. I found this figure sometime about a year ago, shortly after the movie had come out, at my local Bell's department store. And some of you may know Bell's by other names, but that's what it goes by here. But anyway, this figure, among other Star Wars toys, was marked down considerably, about 50%, and I couldn't pass it up, so I went ahead and got it. I couldn't pass up this figure because Finn is one of my new favorite characters in the whole Star Wars canon, along with Rey, of course. The store didn't have many Star Wars toys left, and what they did have was kind of slim, but they did have a few interesting things, and this Finn figure is one of them. So let's check out the box art, and check out the figure and its accessories. Starting off, you see Finn, the figure, in the open window, and if you look lower, you see the Star Wars logo with the Force Awakens subtitle on the bottom, and a really cool picture of Finn, and of course it says that it's the version of him from Jakku, so that pretty much says it all. On the side, you see the different figures in the set. I'm going to have to move the camera, I'm sorry. It says, also look for Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, and First Order Stormtrooper. Okay, and these are all part of the 12-inch figure line. It's the same as Finn. And I've never been able to find them, so I was kind of out of luck on that. On the back here, it shows the same picture of Finn, only much bigger. And if you look, zoom in here. A trained warrior desperate to escape his past, Finn is plunged into adventure as his conscience drives him down a heroic but dangerous path. And then down here, it has the Star Wars website. Same picture of Finn, and back around to the window. Now that that's out of the way, let's take him out of the packaging and check out what accessories he has and just how cool Finn really is. Okay, right out of the box, this is already a fantastic looking figure. To me, it already looks like they captured John Boyega's look. There's a lot of detail to the sculpt of this figure, and I really like it. Of course, since this is the Jakku version of Finn, he's already wearing Poe Dameron's jacket, which he kind of made his own, so that's pretty awesome. He's still wearing the Stormtrooper undershirt. Not really sure about the pants. I believe those were Stormtrooper issue as well. And down here you can see the shoes. Unfortunately, here you can see the seam of where they put the figure together. Same on this side. Okay, as for articulation, his head goes side to side, like any normal person, Don't try to do a Linda Blair thing here, because the color of his jacket comes up, and it'll actually impede any further articulation. As a matter of fact, if you look right here on his neck, like I mentioned before, this is the first time I've ever taken him out of the package, and I just lightly, turn his neck like that to check on the articulation. And I'm sorry this won't focus very well, but you can see it already kind of scuffed the paint some, so that's already kind of a negative in this figure review. And as a matter of fact, I think, before I get back to the articulation, I think one of the reasons why this figure was discounted about 50% is because there are a lot of paint chippings that I'd never noticed until I took it out of the package. right here on his shoulder, you can see the red paint has chipped off, leading to the tan, tan plastic underneath. And here on his pants, the black paint is chipped off, leading to the gray plastic, which is the same as the shoes. So that's very unfortunate. You can also see it better here on the back. Okay, already I showed you his neck articulation, side to side. So be very careful not to knock any of the paint off of this. His arms, do a full 360 degrees if you wanted to. Not that you should. Both arms. His hands, also 360. His legs, won't go backwards because his jacket's in the way, but they will go pretty far forward. I'll probably just chip the paint off of there too. But he can sit down. So if you want to pretend he's flying an X-Wing or a TIE fighter or whatever. Okay, put him back down. His feet are not articulated. They're just there. If you notice, his right hand is shaped in a particular way. That's because he actually does come with one accessory, and that is a really tricked out blaster. And this is a pretty cool looking blaster too. He's already armed and ready to take on anybody. Okay, as I said before, and in the opening card of this figure is supposed to be 12 inches tall, but he comes just under 11 and a half, maybe more, 11 and a quarter. But still, that's a pretty good size figure. I'm very impressed with the size of this figure, in proportion to the detail that they've given him. Oh, and I forgot to mention that here on the jacket, it's got the metal decorations on it. I can't remember. I never really noticed on the actual jacket in the movie if it's a military decoration that Poe Dameron might have gotten, or if it's just a metal buckle. But still, that's a nice touch, as well as the metal zipper. Okay. Oh, and if I get his arms out of the way real quick, you notice that this part of his jacket here is segmented. With the belt coming over. If you look very closely, you can see that it does look very segmented. Unfortunately, he's not articulated at the waist, so that actually kind of throws you off. I think that the jacket just might have come in two pieces and they put it together. So whatever you do, don't try to twist him at thinking that he has waist articulation, because you might end up breaking him or breaking off part of the jacket. Now, for comparison's sake, I wanted to show him against something else, and I didn't think I had anything that would have the same dimensions, but I did remember that I do have something. Finn here is actually the perfect scale with the Marvel Titans figures. Here I have Spidey, for comparison, as well as Iron Man. So you can tell he's within the same scale as the Marvel Titans figures. So that ought to lead some very interesting imagination time. Is this figure worth getting? I believe that it's definitely worth getting as a Star Wars fan, but especially if you loved The Force Awakens, which I do. It is a fantastic movie. I only have a few complaints about this figure, and they're mainly cosmetic. The major flaw that I find in this figure is the paint chipping. I mean, even if you do something as minuscule as moving his neck around, or even drop him or bump him into something, the paint will chip. there's no way that I can properly mix any paint to fix this scuff. And these paint chips on his clothes, those are probably easier fixes with some Gundam markers or even some Sharpie, but they really shouldn't have released a figure like that to begin with. As for accessories, I think this blaster is just a great accessory. I mean, it is a very badass looking blaster, and it really suits him. But I really wish that he would have come with a lightsaber, at least. Because when I saw the original trailer before the movie came out, when I saw him fire up that blue lightsaber, I went full-on geeky schoolgirl. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I mean, just something about that just fired me up about the movie. I wish I could have found some of the other figures that go in this line, you know, like Kylo Ren or Darth Vader, especially Darth Vader, because I'll collect anything with Darth Vader on it. But do I recommend picking up Finn if you could find him? Absolutely. If you could find this at like Walmart or somewhere else, you could probably find him for $12, if not like $9.99 or something like that. So if you could find him, I definitely say pick him up. But I wouldn't call this a hard play figure like Spidey and Iron Man here, because they're mostly unpainted plastic. You know, you can wreck them as much as you want, and they'll still look pretty good. Finn, on the other hand, you know, just be very careful with them so you don't scrape the paint off of them. That is my biggest complaint, is just the whole paint thing. Other than that, I really like this figure, and I'm going to display him proudly in my Star Wars collection. That's all for now. Keep checking our channels. Click on the notification bell to keep up with our releases. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share on your preferred social media. And visit us here on YouTube, as well as my other channel, FlyingAceCMX Vlogs, for random musings, editorials, and other nonsensical crap that I want to share with the general public. Also, be sure to visit FlyingAceCMX on Twitter and FlyingAceCMX on Instagram. And remember, until next time, in the words of many great ones, may the Force be with you. Later. A trained warrior desperate to escape his past, Finn is plunged into adventure as his conscience drives... A trained warrior...